welcome to Games Overboard. I'm PJ.
I'm Dan.
I'm Angie.
I'm Shanna.
The Podcutters.
The Podcutters just walked in.
Yep. Our cat Bing Snows are here. But we are joined with the designer of Table Golf Association and the new upcoming game, Space Borne, John Garcia.
Yay!
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You just scared the cat.
Good.
Oh, of course.
So here, I'll just pull it this way.
I'm the co-designer for my son, Gavin Garcia. What's going on, everyone?
Hello, Gavin.
Hi, nice to meet you, Gavin.
Nice to meet you all. Gavin keeps me on my toes, and actually, you know, we bounce the ideas off each other. He tells me no a lot of times.
Good.
Really, I'm like, no, overruled. This is the, but most of the time it really is a back and forth, and ideas just get better. So it's been great working together.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That is really cool.
So how's Table Golf Association going?
So we are about to receive our shipment from China for Maple Beach, which is
Awesome.
Oh, great.
So, I am a wannabe golfer, right? And any wannabe golfer knows Pebble Beach. It's a famous course in California.
Yep.
And we were actually calling them and trying to do a licensed version of Pebble Beach. So that's still a dream of ours, like to do licensed, versions of famous courses or touch upon that. And they said no.
They'll regret that decision. Don't you worry.
One day.
Yeah, Ice Tower. I was telling the story to some guy, and he's like, "Why don't you just call it Maple Beach?" It's like, so he just walks away, and I'm like, "Holy cow, that's a great idea." I give the guy credit because it was just like, "Okay, bye." Anyway, so I love the idea, Maple Beach. And the other thing that this game has that a lot of people were asking for with table golf was some kind of 3D. Love the Halloween.
I just can't.
Oh, yes.
Remember we talked about the trees, Shane?
Yes.
Yep.
I hate
And-
those trees.
Well, no,
We kind of poo-pooed it, right? And I felt the same way. I thought 3D objects would make it seem like a miniature golf course.
Yeah.
Well, we came up with a mechanic that works. So you start your tee box without any trees on the course, right? But if you land on a tile with the tree, then you actually put the tree on the tile.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's brilliant.
No,
It's so simple, but it works so good because now if you're right behind the tree, like in real golf, you're not going forward. You have to go back.
That's right. You
I
gotta
already
get
hate
yourself
golf,
out of
and
there.
here we make
Oh
it
my
even
gosh.
worse.
Yeah, so it's been, it adds a really good whimsy to it, but it stays true to the theme and it works. So we're really happy, and that led to the Frozen Tundra expansion. I don't know, have you guys seen this?
no, I didn't hear about this one.
So this is a little 10-tile standalone, not standalone, it's an expansion. But the idea of the trees was like so well received that we made these little mountains. So
That's
this is
so
the
cool.
Frozen Tundra that has really cool. It has like a frozen lake. The graphics are just amazing. Like I don't know how well you can see this, but
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
and Gavin came up with this really tricky, fun mechanic. If you land on the ice, literally you have to move the ball before you hit it. If you miss it, you have to move it again. So what's cool about the mountains is you could position them, kind of like around the hole or wherever you want, right? And you could actually ricochet off the mountains. So
Oh,
now,
that's true.
yeah. So again, it's just a lot of fun. It's obviously a little bit of a departure from the original approach to the game, but the mountains are the only things that are physically on the course all the time because
Yeah.
Right.
you wouldn't be able to go around them. Obviously, you would never probably purposely hit a golf ball off a mountain, although.
Honestly, I probably would. I'm terrible at golf.
Off about just about everything else, so why not? Why not about it?
It's nice making that a small box expansion because then people who want a more pure experience just don't buy it or don't use it,
Right.
and you're not buying this huge big box that requires it.
I'm only
I
good
think
at
that's great.
golf for a TGA. Like, I'm not going to use that expansion because I'm only good at the original flick game. Like, I can't play real golf. Trees and mountains.
I love the artwork of Felipe, which is the guy that we found literally on Fiverr, and he's been really great, with us and coming up with. And so, we do get a lot of golf. We got a lot of people from Canada and Germany and cold regions, cold weather regions.
Yeah.
We're in South Florida, so it's funny. We forget winter exists. Literally, like it just doesn't. We have 3 days in the 40s, and that's it. That's our winter. We're in South Florida. So, we forget a lot of the country, they can't play golf in the winter, right? So, we have a lot of fans, and I think it's going to resonate, with them. And then the last one that came as part of this Kickstarter is the stadium course. So the idea here is also, there's a huge golf tournament at TPC Sawgrass, which I think is in Arizona. Anyway, there's a hole that's completely surrounded by a stadium. It's the only golf hole in all of golf that it's basically inside of a stadium. It's super cool.
That's awesome.
It's still outdoors, right? But anyway, so we came up with these cool little tiles that kind of look like bleachers, right? But the bottom has this rubber mat. So the idea is you put them around the edge of the course and it'll hold the tiles in place. So if you don't have a rubber mat, or if you have
The neoprene mats,
Yeah.
So these are, they come with 10 in the box, and one of them is like the clubhouse, the actual little clubhouse that I don't have. But they won't slide, they won't move. So even if you just put them maybe surrounding the hole where the hole is, it's still a great, nice little. So it's purely aesthetic. You don't play off of these tiles at all. They're really just, but they also act as a backstop because they're a little taller than the other tiles.
Yeah.
So if you have an errant shot, instead of it flying off, it'll bounce off the stadium tile. So, we're really excited. There's like really a lot of different things in this last campaign. And they're coming from China in a couple of weeks, and we promised delivery by January of next year, and so we're still on target for that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, that's
Great.
awesome.
Great.
So yeah, that's what tabletop. There is one more thing, actually. I do want to show you guys this. We work with a kid named Carter Bowens. He has a golf apparel company called Spectrum Golf because he's autistic, and I think we might have talked about this, but we made autism kind of puzzle, tiles, and they're all in different colors, right? And then there's even this one multicolored one, which is really cool.
Oh, cool.
And so it's really like just a fun game for kids. Where if you're on the orange tile, I think you have to hop 5 times before you hit the ball. On the blue tile, you have to close your eyes before you hit the ball. And he actually came up with the ideas for the mechanics. It was all on. So it comes with a little card showing you how to play, and it actually comes with a Carter bonus card. And since his last name is Bonus, you get a bonus shot. Yeah. So So I mean, and actually we're donating all of the profits from any autism expansions, and we had quite a few. I think we sold 120 during the campaign.
Great.
And we're available on our website as well. So that was a lot. That's where we're at.
That's so cool.
I love it. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. I remember seeing...
You're both educators, right? PJ and...
Yeah.
Actually, I just finished my PhD.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Moving into the college world.
Golf club, yeah. Appropriate.
No, because you were one of the first people we interviewed, and this is just kind of starting, and now to see it just kind of take off so much, it's just amazing. It makes me so happy for you.
Thank you. That really does mean a lot. We've had a lot of great support, feedback. We're trying to turn it into a tour, the TGA Pro Tour, whether it be events around the country and like cash prizes and stuff like that, to really just expand the awareness of the game. Because actually, obviously, buying the game is gonna help, but to buy the game, people have to kind of either be introduced to it by someone else who has it. Or imagine if you go to a brewery and instead of playing cornhole or darts, you get to play.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. So thank you. It's been a lot of work, and we're just loving it. And now Space Borne is on deck.
I am so excited for Space Borne. Oh my gosh! This game, this freaking game, it's so hard.
It is.
Yeah, we've played twice.
Yep.
I've played solo twice, and I just can't win. I can't. I know it's winnable because I get, like, I know how it works. I'm just terrible at it. It's
Do you want to know why? It's because John's balls got smaller.
yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I feel like your box is still about the same size, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the box is big. Well, we added a black hole, so that's pretty.
True.
Touche.
So when we last talked with you, well, first off, I just want to ask, how'd you fare with the hurricanes? Was everything okay for you?
Yeah, except there's another one coming. So
Oh, God.
yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
It's November.
It's still early, but it'll be another West Coast storm. The West Coast has just been this devastated this last couple of years. Everything's kind of gone up the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've been here now almost 19 years, and I've had one hurricane impact. So I'll take those odds. It's like,
Yeah.
all things considered, in New Jersey, you knew you're gonna have a snowstorm every year that's gonna, and snow all the time and cold weather all the time. So, thank you for asking. We were okay. We've had some family members that live in Tampa. It was a little bit, more damage for them and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, you were definitely on our mind.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
That, we're good. We played a lot of table golf during those days.
Yeah, going back to table golf before we get into Space Borne, my 4-year-old adores this game. Whenever we come downstairs, he points it out, and he's like, "We gonna play?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, set it up." And we just usually, like, we build it to fill the whole table, and he'll have a hole on one side and I'll have a hole on the other, and we just put stuff in between. We just, like, hit it back and forth and everything. But man, he has a great time just trying to get it into the different holes, and almost like skee ball. Like,
Yeah.
I'll set different holes up and see which ones he can get into, things like that. So
You don't have to play the. I mean, we do the same thing sometimes. We just set up the whole length of the table and just try to get it in one shot. Obviously.
yeah.
But just to have
Just to have fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of times kids they really just can't get their hands off of it. And so it's all around.
Yeah, it's like whatever you guys want to do, just
Just enjoy the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we're at anywhere, like, the first kid that comes to the table, they don't leave. The parents have to, like, pull them away. Yeah, yeah. It's like or we end up being the babysitters. They just leave the kids. Well, at least buy the game.
Yeah. So we need you. You have the money. Come back.
This is your babysitter now, this box.
Yeah, I guilt the parents into buying the games.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Space Borne.
Yes. So you mentioned it last time we talked, which was a year and a half or so ago now at this point.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where did the idea come from? Like, what was the origin of it?
The idea was space golf. The idea was I was gonna do a space version of table golf and just make it wacky and just same concept where different terrains would affect how you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy poo-pooed it almost immediately.
We got to branch out a little more than that.
Yeah.
You got to get away from the golf.
Yeah, I still have it on my computer. I still have the file as space golf. I put everything in there. Gavin was like, no, and I really wanted it to be space golf. That was one of those things where, he really just kind of pushed back and challenged me, and then it just started becoming what you guys have seen. And it's been a year and a half since that conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We probably were already working on it, for about another half a year. And it's it's a massive game. It's intimidating for us because, we feel like it's something that, in order to publish it, there's a lot that has to go right with the game. It's ambitious.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we've gone back. So we were going to launch it on BackerKit back in August. And I put the brakes on it because we didn't have any blind playtesting, and I just didn't feel confident that we were where we did. I said, why rush it? it's a great game, but I don't want to fall short. No game is perfect, and my motto is, if you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting your whole life. That's my
Right.
motto.
Yeah.
Right.
But a game, you can't put it. I mean, imagine even like we talked about before we started, where there was some cards missing in the expansion. So, so we put the brakes on it, and we put it to great people like your team and a lot, probably about 8 or 10 other play testers right now have it, and we're getting great feedback, and so I feel good. We have a great game, and I love to hear that you haven't been able to beat it yet.
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness to you, we just suck at everything we do.
We've heard from people who have beat it and even wanted it more challenging. And I'm like, okay, so I like that it's not lopsided. It seems either way.
More
Yeah.
challenging. Oh.
I was gonna say I'm very bad with my fingers and dexterity things, and don't take that the bad way either of you two.
I don't know what well, no, you just don't fly far enough to get coordinate cards.
I don't want to flick too hard.
Famous last words.
But yeah, we always run out of coordinate cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's our big issue.
Yeah. So you take your turn and then you either draw one or two or none, right?
Right. And if we don't draw any, you have to discard two.
All right, both. So that was a mechanic that came together that was really powerful for us because I wanted the time to move on anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't want you to just draw cards unless you succeeded in those recon missions. So it has that really good thematic kind of, you're traveling through space and you're actually on a mission. You pick up some information. So yeah.
And and it's encouraging you to be risky, and to be aggressive almost in your flying, which I think is fantastic. It's such a brilliant idea. And
I couldn't be aggressive last game because Angie made the perfect analogy. What was it?
He always ended up on his home planet. That's where he always ended. And he cannot poop anywhere other than at home. So I just said that every time he was done with this turn, he had to go home because he had to poop.
Takes a long time when you're traveling in space.
We got to add that action to the game, I guess.
Yeah. Go to your home
Maybe
planet
if
to
you do that, it gives you more coordinate cards.
Yeah. Some sort of special bonus card or something.
It'd be called a Dan card. I like that.
Yeah.
brown hole.
No. Yeah. We'll have to workshop that.
All right.
And this was the moment that John Garcia said, never sending them boxes ever again.
Why do I talk to these people? I need to stop listening.
Makes
I
it
actually
one
went
Sunday.
back to listen to the first podcast like a couple of times. Like it was so much fun. We had
The number of times that Dan and I are trying to have a conversation about wood, holes, strokes, and what was the other one?
Balls.
Balls. Yeah. And every time we say it, these two start laughing away.
We were holding his balls in our hands and you were saying it.
It all goes down.
I'm never dirty on my podcast, so I gotta come on here and just.
Well, this is the Not Safe for Work podcast. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're liking the game. Like the hole was another thing. Like again, it was space golf. So I was figuring that there was going to be like a mission, some type of mission, and you had to hit the ball into the hole, in the spaceship into the hole in order to complete the mission. And he liked the hole, right?
Yeah, I wanted to steer away from the whole space golf kind of thing. But we looked into space and we were like, well, there's black holes in space, and so we figured, how we tie that into the game and make it better.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Pandemic, and I love Forbidden Island is cool. I like the idea of it, and I was like, this is perfect for that. The black hole actually becoming a black hole, like actually devour the game.
It devoured me in our first game.
It did.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when they come up, sometimes the black hole cards may come up, more back to back. The way you set up the game, there should be some kind of, space in between them coming up. So it gives you time.
Yeah.
But they do come up close to each other and that thing starts to disappear. It just adds like this really cool tension to the game. And so we were really happy about making that that whole mechanic, come to life. I love that.
I feel like I would have liked Space Golf better. I hate Pandemic and I hate Forbidden Island. So
Yeah, 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 I remember you saying that. And I think like again, like with those games, it's all, I mean, it's all strategy with the cards, but there's the difference with this game is the clicking, right? Like that's
Yeah.
why
Mm-hmm.
you can't compare it to anything else because you're in control to a certain degree.
they're so cute. I
Yeah.
love them.
So I really love the design of the pieces that you have for this. And yeah, go ahead. Put it under there. Go ahead, show it.
It's on there. Put the blue one in there and put in the orange
But you
one.
can't put in the green one. It'll be lost.
Oh, it's
Oh, the
actually,
green one will
here
just
comes the
disappear.
black hole.
Oh, dear
Yeah.
God.
Oh, it's like a green screen.
It is good. Look at it. It's the black hole. Yeah, it's a green screen in the background. So,
I love the design of these. Just the classic saucer shape.
Yeah.
I need a set of just those, just for myself.
Just knock around on your desk or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same guy who designed the TGA ball for us on Fiverr, he designed, well, I went to him with an idea, and that's the third iteration of it. So the first ones, they would tip over, so they wouldn't move anywhere.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, like if you hit it too hard, I know these still, if you hit them too hard, they don't
yeah.
react. You have to hit it like right, which is cool. But I do love the sources, and actually in the final game, the top is going to be a clear plastic. I think it'll look even cooler, so you'll see.
That's going to look
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it'll look, I think, more like a spaceship. Who knows what a spaceship looks like? But I guess the traditional, what we
the UFO look, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Rick's spaceship in Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought of the aliens in Simpsons.
Kang and Kodos?
Yeah.
Well, there's I forget what alien story it is. There's one of the alien like encounter stories. This is exactly what it's described as. It's like, the saucer with this dome on top and everything, but there's no clear, like it's all
just
solid
one
metal,
solid piece, yeah.
So
I was gonna say, because you think the aliens would be like, we probably can't travel through space with glass. We'll probably crush.
Unless it's...
Plexiglass?
Plexiglass, that's what I was going to say.
No, I was going to say clear aluminum, which they made in Star Trek. I forget which movie.
Anyway, so for
Nerd.
Space Borne,
I feel like space golf is more topic.
Sorry,
We
my
made
nerd was
tiles
showing.
small- made these tiles smaller, and there's 90 tiles in the game, and so it fills up. I think it's 30-inch diameter.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think the flicker is smaller, and so that was a challenge, like how big to make tiles and how big to make the spaceships, so that it also all worked together. That took a few different attempts as well. So I think we got something that works as far as that, the components and the dimensions. What do you guys think of the different terrain types? Or they're not terrain types, but
The different tiles?
the turbulent tiles.
Okay,
Yes.
so go ahead, show them your favorite.
This is my favorite one.
Oh, is that the storm?
I love the artwork, like the texture
Okay.
of it all and everything. I just think it's so cool. I forget what the rule is, but I didn't like the rule because it was mean. It was very mean.
It's mean.
Oh, it's only mean because you got trapped in it most last game.
I'm going to guess
Yeah.
that it's Gavin's rule then.
That's definitely a big part of what Gavin, helped with this game, is coming up with that,
So, I know PJ, I know didn't like some
The
of those
Space
penalties.
Storm, yeah, Space Storm is the one I
I
really like.
absolutely loved these penalties on all of these different things that you can get yourself into. It makes it more dynamic, it makes it more fun, and now it's giving you a reason to, hey, here's an idea, don't take that course.
yeah.
How many asteroids did I run into my first game? I kept losing my shields just to that.
Show that one off, man.
But no, the artwork on all of these cards, or all of these pieces, look phenomenal. The one,
It's the colors.
yeah, it's definitely the
It's a lot
colors.
of colors.
The one piece that I really love, and I want to know who came up with this one, is the battle board.
Man, the battle board is a story, Gavin. You want to talk about the original battle board?
So we actually kind of both put a lot of brain power into that. It was kind of like the battle board we have now, it's like rectangular with a lava. Before it was actually more circular shape and made up a bunch of bigger hexagons, but it was all one piece. It's divided into hexagons.
Okay.
Huh.
It was very different, very, very different the way it felt. But now, yes, you have a long board. The target not the same.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, initially, that was Gavin's idea, was to make these. They were almost like little puzzles within the game. So, depending on what you were trying to do, there was a different configuration, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was one place where I pushed back on him a lot. Like I didn't feel that it had what it needed as far as the challenge of a long shot and aiming. That what he had come up with was like more. It was like a smaller, tighter course, and it was shorter flicks. And it just,
Okay.
I don't know. We kept changing it and changing it, and then we finally went to this. The battle board, that extends, all the way, through 3 boards and the targets. And so that was actually one of the probably things that took us the longest, was to really kind of come up with where we're at right now. With this
Yeah.
battle.
So that was actually going to be my next question. So thank you for that explanation. That's great. So what I really love about this battle board is, unlike other games where you punch something out and it's done, this is, you punch out that hole that you need as your target, and you can put it back in, and it fits, and you don't have to mess with it. That's great. Was that also by design, or is that one of those things that was a happy accident that it could do that?
No, it was, but the version this is already the 3rd prototype, actually. So,
Oh, wow.
But this one, we made 10 copies of it, which is very expensive. But just the last prototype, it didn't have any holes. It actually didn't have any holes except the black hole, right? It only had the black hole. So the targets were just, the landing areas on the board.
Okay.
So then we said, you know what? It's hard enough to stop it completely at the target. So we actually thought the hole would help people, because it would stop the ball and it could fall into the hole if you made a precise shot. But yeah, and then I was like, okay, so if you're not going for that one, you don't want the hole permanently, because it would stop you from maybe going wherever else you're going. But we also position them in ways that they really shouldn't interfere with each other. They're kind of right from left to right.
Yeah.
So like not right behind each other and stuff. But yeah, I think that's a final version of that battle board. I think we're happy with it now. So I'm glad you like it.
Oh my God, we love it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: you said you've got them spaced out,
just for us to look at this.
and I mean, it really is spaced out, and it's very brilliantly done. But I suck so bad at this kind of game that I still end up going for the wrong one.
Well, you're supposed to work as a team, PJ. Let me call up.
There is no teamwork.
Go for it.
Well, that's not true. There is teamwork. We always try to find out how we can meet up and swap cards.
And Dan never remembers how that rule works.
I always forget how that rule works. We have to be on the planet of the color that we want to trade.
Again, just like, he's always he kept going back to his home planet, which was orange last time we played.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, I have this green card. I have 2 green cards. Who can take them? And I'm like, we can't. You're on the orange planet.
Now, my one turn. The
You gotta
one
get
turn.
the roll card then. What's the roll card of the guy that could trade?
The
It's the purple one.
The purple one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's who I played that game. Because we traded something on.
Yeah, we traded a couple cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Now I had a Warp 2 card, and I went yes, but it was never the Green Planet.
No, it's back to your home planet.
Yeah, it was back to my home planet.
Lieutenant Elvira. These are all the artwork is also done by Felipe, who did the artwork on the expansions on the Meeple. He also did the cover artwork, which I love. Yeah.
That's awesome.
A quick story about Josiah. Leave that card there for a minute, PJ.
Yeah.
So we were playtesting at Gen Con, not this year, but last year. We've been playtesting actually for a while.
That's awesome.
And one of the guys was like, we had a different character, and he's like, this character sucks. You can't use it. It doesn't do anything. And so I was like, well, then what would you do? He's like, what about a guy that could refuel other people or some kind. So I actually designed this card based on his feedback, and that's his name. That was the guy's name, Josiah.
Oh,
So
cool.
That's awesome.
yeah, so we ended up making this card, I mean, it was his idea and I like it a lot. I still think it's not the most used ability, but we're going to maybe work on on some of the rules here so that using a reserve tank isn't as easy, and this guy's ability would make it even more important,
Yeah.
like
and
that.
also all of the tiles, Felipe, with the illustrations also on all the tiles. So initially this was all like, me and Gavin, clip art and using, things on Canva. And then we sent it all to Felipe and he made it look, the way it does. So we're really happy with that, with the artwork too.
Oh, it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
really great.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, those characters, what do you think overall though? Like the abilities of the characters? Was it balanced?
I found it pretty balanced.
Yeah.
So our first playthrough, I was Blue. I don't remember the character's name, but Blue's special ability was being able to take out 3. Yes, there you go. Take out 3 pirates.
Yeah. So he also can do 5 actions. And a lot of people forget
Right.
that. Yeah.
Oh, no, I took full advantage of the 5 actions.
Yeah, we played where, you just think about the sniper ability, but you forget about if you don't use it, he still gets stuff. He's definitely the strong, I think, character. But if you guys don't, and if you don't learn how to trade properly, you'll never do it.
Okay, so we have to work on our teamwork thing, which is really
Teamwork.
hard. Which is really hard for us because we're always going after each other. And Angie reaps all the benefits.
Makes my life a living hell.
So yeah, I said in our little preview episode last week that the battle board feels like going back to TGA, like going back to its roots in a way.
Yeah.
So when
You
When I-
can't be a princess
Hold on.
ever.
Hold
When-
on, no,
when
we
I-
can- we can do this.
Nope.
Nope.
You lost your privilege.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
we don't want to hurt it.
I've got my hair all done.
So
Just for it.
yeah, when you said that Gavin put in a lot of input to the game, immediately I was like, I wonder if the battle board was made for John. Like, here, Dad, you still get to put a ball in a hole.
I did win that battle, don't put it. Looking a ball in a hole no matter what. But I also like how it's rookie, intermediate, and pro as far as where to hit from. And if you are getting, you want a bigger challenge, you just could change, the level or the mode. And actually, you can't see this, but I was working on this today. But what we're gonna do is another reference card in the game. So if you're playing rookie, it'll give you a checklist of the whole entire gameplay for rookie mode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, from setup to like the rookie mode. You know how there's a magic crystal, like on your player board, you get that bonus.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, in the pro mode, you won't get it at all. So there's no magic crystal in the pro version.
Amazing.
Where in the rookie version,
These are different.
yeah, you have it and you can use it as a wild card or as a save on the battle board. So basically, there's enough variance, I'd say, from rookie to pro, where if you're playing pro, you have to you minimize your mistakes. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to beat the game at pro. And I think that's the happy medium.
So we'll
because
always be rookie.
Yeah.
Probably.
well, rookie, we're going to actually, it said 4 cards initially. We're going to leave it at 5 black hole cards, but 2 of the black hole cards would be in the final deck. So you won't encounter the first black hole for quite a bit. So it won't be in the first cards at all. But I think there's the happy medium as far as giving players, an easier version and a more difficult version, as opposed to just making the game difficult,
Right. Straight across the board.
Exactly, because I think if you're playing a game and you're maybe you guys could relate, always losing.
No, I don't know what that's like.
I don't know why you would think that.
I mean, I'm a born loser, so that's my everyday motto.
You're always losing. How many more times do you want to play it? If you beat it, then you up the challenge a little bit. You make it intermediate, and then you up the challenge and make it pro.
Right.
So that's where we're at now with that. And I do think this is going to bring it to easier to understand the different modes and more, more likely that people are going to try it and any one of the different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did have a question for you about one thing in terms of gameplay. I don't know if I can get all three of these to fit on the screen here at one time. Let's see. So let's say,
You got it.
yeah, let's say you had three with images on them like that, and you land right in the middle. What? Oh, that's
Why I
the
shouldn't
green,
have
that's the
chosen
green one.
It's another black hole.
You land right in the middle. How do you determine where you are, or is that open space?
No, I mean, if you're playing rookie, it would be open space because
Yeah.
you don't have to touch the card. So I mean, I really I'm not sure even now on the rule book because there is a
Yeah.
if you're in two spaces, there's a rule, but three would be it would be
Because that happened to us a couple times.
Of course it did.
We just deemed it open space.
Yes.
Yeah, we were just like, well, we're not touching anything. We're just kind of in the middle, so
We also
open
wanted
space.
coordinate cards.
Yeah, we also just needed to win something.
We just needed something good to happen.
yeah. I mean, this is part of playtesting and like kind of like probably not that unique of a circumstance that comes up and one that we don't cover in the rule book. So obviously a house rule there would be okay, but I don't know so you guys like just making it as an open space if you're in between all three?
I mean,
we did it for purely selfish reasons, and it still didn't work to our favor.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know about calling it open space because open space technically is no graphics, right?
yeah, a blank
Yeah.
tile, yeah.
So we're gonna have to get back to you on that one. That's awesome. I appreciate you bringing that up to us.
Yeah.
Because right now, how would you? Because with the golf, we have the weather die, and you roll the die, and if it's windy, you take the worst of the terrains.
Right.
And I don't know. We have to come up with a different. Yeah.
You have to come up with some kind of dice
Wait.
to roll.
Wait. I've got an idea. Wait. It could be a solar flare, and that could push you to the worst one that you have to land on.
Maybe
You're-
it pushes
you're
you to your
welcome.
home planet so you can poop.
Well, I
God.
tell you what, solar flare hits me. I'm not waiting to get home. It's gonna happen whether I want to or not.
Oh, gosh.
People are gonna watch this.
You may be embarrassed, Shanna, but I've done far worse.
There is a bonus card that lets you kind of move the piece. I mean, that obviously wouldn't be as a bonus card, but maybe if you have those, right in the middle of all three, you could choose one. In that case, I think you had the warp tile, so you could do.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely choose the warp tile.
You always choose the one that
I'd warp
hurts you
home so I
less.
could go poop.
But if there's three turbulent tiles that are not in your favor, I mean, you're gonna suffer some kind of consequence.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm gonna make note of that, and I think it's addressable, but I think obviously you can't address every situation.
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah. Especially with dexterity games, I feel, because and modular games where you build the board, because you never know what the layout's going to be.
Right.
You know, like Betrayal at House on the Hill is one of our favorite games, but that game is so random sometimes.
And broken. But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, this game will never have that issue though. Like
No.
Space Borne will never have the weird wackiness, like brokenness that Betrayal has.
But that's why I like it.
I was gonna say we can make the weird
Because I can
wackiness out
house
of it.
rule a lot of stuff.
But going back to the pandemic aspect of it, because I don't think I've ever seen a dexterity game with pandemic mechanisms before.
Here's a side question for him. Have you ever won Pandemic?
Yeah, no, we played it a lot. And
What a show off. Never mind.
And then we got the pandemic legacy, and that's why I also tried to build a not that's not true. I didn't do it because of that, but I like the legacy aspect of it.
We've
And
never
that's-
won Pandemic either.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we played it, we broke, we beat it a bunch of times, and then Legacy, we finished it, and we were trying Legacy 2, but that's hard because you got to get the same kind of group together every time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, my stunt team and I almost beat it in 2016, and then the tour was over, so we had to go home.
Yeah, but I like that game a lot, so we played it a lot. We did end up playing it a lot.
Yeah.
But I wanted to build a legacy thing for this game. So if you do play and, the flags, like that's one that I'd love to hear your feedback because we've gone back and forth on this a lot. Gavin wasn't a big fan of it. And just because I think, I'm always the kind of guy, like at the end of the game, I want more than just, I want to put away the box. Like in TGA, there was a trophy. And in this game, it's like, okay, there's a crown. And that's cool, but what's the crown really worth? Well, at the start of the next game, I have an advantage, and maybe that advantage helps the whole team, but it's a reason to build on your successes, kind of thing. So I love to hear your ideas on the list.
Put it right on top of me.
So,
This needs to be bigger so I can wear it all the time.
Hold it down with your headphones.
So after to get the legacy rules, so I guess you guys haven't gotten it.
So the first time, Angie and I tied when it came to having the most control.
Yeah.
But we didn't win, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter about.
Yeah. When it comes to the legacy rules, though, I was just afraid to, like, if we actually did win, to actually, pull them out and stick them into the rule book and everything, because another playtester might, is going to get the copy and all that. So,
right.
So I just kind of read through them, like, these are cool. These are like, these are just great.
Playtester can't have the crown. I'm going to keep it.
Oh, well, you have to take that up with John.
So when it comes to legacy games,
They can't have the UFOs. I want those.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to legacy games, personally, I love the idea. I don't like using them only because what if we want to start fresh again? What if we want to do everything all over again and start from scratch? Yeah. But I love the idea of being able to...
It's nice that these just go in the back of the book,
Yeah, and I like the way you got that set up. You put it in the back of the book. You have everything already set up, and you don't necessarily have to go and use those all the time. You can start fresh again if you want, which you can't do in games like Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. Once it's done, it's done. It's permanent.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I liked about Betrayal Legacy is you build like a board and a game that is 100% yours and that groups. So like for me, I like that.
And then it's replayable afterwards.
Yeah. Right.
And you know
but
what?
some games are not replayable afterwards.
You can buy a brand new box and start it all over again. And it's helping out these guys right here go to Spain. All right? So I'm just saying, you buy two.
Well,
How did I get ink on myself?
I don't know.
We have the expansion, so unfortunately it came without the attack cards, and so that kind of ruined it for you. But
Not really. We were doing great.
Actually, no, we were still losing.
No, we weren't.
We were running out of coordinate cards.
Yeah, you could use the black hole cards as attack cards and just kind of play it again.
Yeah.
But I do like the legacy idea because we could make it mission based. So we actually have an idea for a prequel of the game, right? The prequel is a guy named Major Tom, and this is Major Tom. There was a crystal one crystal basically powered the entire black hole emitter at the time. It was a very powerful crystal, and he had to do away with it, or else, it was too easy to dominate the galaxy with this one crystal. So it's the opposite. He's actually trying to get rid of the crystal instead of trying to find the crystal. And he's like the first freedom flicker. So we are trying to build like a whole kind of story into it, like the characters and the story. And I like where it's going so far, but we have obviously this one to put out first. But just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, I love your world building on this game. This is great. PJ and I had such a fun time just reading through the instruction book.
Yeah, the introduction.
The introduction
there
was great. I love the Freedom Flickers. I think that's a fantastic name.
I have a suggestion for an expansion. I think you should have a character in the future that's actually two characters in one of these little flickums, okay? And so what happens is they have to share their job. So maybe they have 4 movements, whatever, and they have to agree on it. And they should be named Dan and PJ. Because I'd love to see 2 people sit at a table and try to work together with one of these little guys Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna flick it. No.
No.
You are not going to flick
They're
it.
still not gonna win.
I'm going to attempt this. No, you're not.
And like the picture, the image could be like both of them like on the card, like angry at each other, but like inside the glass. That's my only suggestion.
I see a lot of Lost in Space happening.
Yes. Angie spent a lot of time in there
Yes, she did.
trying to get out of that.
It was not my friend at all.
I know they weren't very well done, but did you get a chance to see some of the videos that we did for the setup and the gameplay and things like that?
Yeah.
What do you think of adding that as far as like, part of the rule book? Like part of it is like we want to make like a video rule book.
Yeah, and having that QR code was great. I loved it, especially the setup one was super helpful because your recommendation in videos like have every other tile in the second row, one with the graphic and things like that. And I'm like, that's awesome because I don't remember if the rulebook said that, but
I don't think it.
I don't think it did. And so like the videos kind of like add all this awesome supplementary stuff that really, just enhance the experience in a lot of ways.
And we also found that when doing games like this, especially the very first time, having that video guide on anything we play is always more helpful than reading the rule book, misinterpreting something, not reading something correctly,
Skipping something.
skipping something. You know it's going to be done right.
Yeah.
Well, Mantis does that. It's a
All
card
of
game.
the oatmeal games, yeah.
My students love playing the game Mantis, and it says, don't read this book. Instead, go to this website and watch us play it. And they just do that for the games. It's just easier for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, same here. I think everybody, if there's a video for the game and it's new, especially the guy that has to read the rules, it's always nice to, see it in action. So, yeah, especially this game too, there's just a lot to it, and we didn't want to make it too complicated. It's really not very, very complicated, but it seems,
Yeah.
It can be intimidating. There's a lot of pieces,
And so for everyone watching, every page of the rulebook has a QR code where you can scan like that the rules on this page are in that code, which is so great because like then you don't have to be scrolling through a video to find where that particular rule is. You just go, oh, well, it's mentioned on this page, so I'll just scan that code and watch the video for just that set of rules.
And we're not done with it. There's videos that we're still working on, like the battle board by itself, and there's actually quite there's 3 or 4 other videos that those are the ones, but we still want to kind of drill down so that every single page has a QR code just for that page.
Yeah.
We did Gavin actually the game is now going to have this really cool like setup guide that a lot of rule books have.
Yeah.
With like numbered, so that exactly kind of like where everything is on the table and stuff.
I love that. That's like the first thing I look for when I open up a rule book is how do I set it up? What's it going to look like?
So it came out really nice. So this will be in the rule book. We're gonna add. It's not really that important, but I added a reference card for the turn order.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a rule book, but I like things on the table so you're not going through the rule book all the time.
Yes.
And I want to ask you guys, when did you get to the point where you had pirate bases? On
Yeah.
Yes.
What happens if you run out of bases?
Game over.
Okay, because we hit 4 bases, and I'm like, if we get a 5th one, I don't know what happens.
If you run out of pirate tokens or bases or cards, you lose. It's easy to lose.
I figured.
Gavin's mean.
No, he just knows how to make things fun and interesting.
Yeah.
But
He really hates golf.
But I'm asking because there are rules in the book about what you have to do if there's a base, on a planet satellite. Were you playing with those rules?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I was thinking is on the back of the player reference card, we would have those rules because again,
I love that.
Instead of going through, because they are cool. I think they're cool. Where if you fly by a base that's on a moon, you take the shield damage if you fly within 1 tile space of that moon.
I do like that.
Yeah.
And if it's on a satellite, the player of that satellite can only complete 1 recon mission per turn. So you have to, it forces you to really get rid of that base because sometimes you let a base hang around. But if you're playing with, with these other, consequences, right? You want to get rid of the base as soon as possible.
Right.
So anyway, so we'll have more just make it easier to kind of be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
part of the game.
Yeah, the important thing for rule books is to not assume that people are gonna like, figure things out. Yeah, it needs to be as foolproof as possible. So I love that. That's awesome.
What would you say is the hardest part of game design?
Probably the rule book.
The rule book, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we always hear. Is the rule book is the hardest part.
We've met some atrocious ones too.
I was
Oh,
gonna
we've had some real bad rule books.
This has been a lot better than a particular favorite franchise of ours that made a game that we will never ever play again.
Yeah, aliens.
Colonial Marines.
And I'm not afraid to say that we use AI when we can, but with the rule book, we haven't used any kind of ChatGPT or anything. Like we really just try to make it. I try to make the rule book the way not the way I speak because no one understands the way. but more conversational than kind of like rule bookish, and I think
Yeah.
comes across a little bit and just try to break it down more to layman's terms. But you still have to get the rules across. It's a challenge. It's not easy.
Yeah, because everybody can interpret something in 40 different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
It's its own skill set, and that's probably a place where I could probably hire professionally people that do stuff like that. We haven't done that yet. We've had a few people kind of available to us, but we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
But if Dan says it's good, it's good.
Did you
Hey.
did you use anyone for TGA or was that all you?
No, yeah, we did it all us.
Because that
Great.
rule book is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, us, me, and my wife too. Like we let her proofread it because she doesn't hold any punches. Come
Do we
on,
need to
babe.
talk about it?
Yeah,
We don't have enough time.
This is
for
a safe
that.
space.
person because she's not a gamer. So if she gets it, then I'm good. You know what I mean? Like she's not. So if she understands it, then I know that I probably came across the rules, pretty good. So
Yeah.
anyway, so Space Borne here. I want to show you guys this. We are gonna probably have a mat,
Good.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. So and then but we always play on the other side. So that the tiles don't slide. But I don't know if you can see this. Well, I'll put it. But this is a giant, beautiful, lazy Susan.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was lazy since the first time I saw it. I was excited.
That is huge. That's awesome.
Well,
That's what she said.
it was
That's a big brown hole.
that's a
Oh,
big.
God.
But with the game, if you're playing, obviously our games you can't sit down, right? You have to move around the table.
Yep.
But with this, if you wanted to splurge for it, you could be sitting at your spot and just kind of move the galaxy around to where
Yeah.
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 So it would be less of the running around the table, which honestly for older, someone who has just a difficulty getting around, mobility issues or whatever, but still
Yeah.
likes the game. Because we had that at Gen Con. Two of the playtesters, had mobility issues. And that's part of why I said, this is obviously an option. This could be a Kickstarter deluxe kind of upgrade or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's this one is awesome. This one is super sturdy. It's level and
Yeah.
you can see it's like more than
Yeah.
an inch.
That's thick.
That's what she said.
Giggity.
I use Lazy Susans when I'm decorating cakes, so I was like, I know what that is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, to kind of get around
Yeah.
the cake. Yep. So
But the one that I have is not level. Wobble.
Kind of like the table upstairs that we played on the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I'm so glad we moved
You
down
can
here to do the second time.
buy me a better table. That's right. I told her.
I'm staying out of this one.
That was a gift from Deb and Paul for my wedding. No,
that table needs to go.
we
though,
hate
yeah.
it. Sorry, Mom, we hate it.
When going back to the whole pandemic pirate stuff though, was that whose idea was it to put that in there?
the pirates.
Yeah, and like the pandemic, it feels
It was this guy. I swear to God, it wasn't me. Yeah.
because like it feels like
It feels like
something.
Gavin.
it feels like pandemic where like once 3 of them get on there, it the 4th one is like an outbreak, but instead of it spreading, it's
It's a
base
base.
forms and everything, and I found it pretty cool. Like, and then if you destroy 3 of them in a turn, you get a bonus card
Yep.
and all that. So
Yeah, I mean that's what makes the game. If not, you don't have that race. It's kind of like a race against not just the time of the deck, but also managing where where your pirates are. Because if not, you can kind of just flick around. But sometimes if there's three pirates on a so suppose if you have a base on a planet, you can't turn in the crystal there. Right. So,
Yeah.
so you don't want it to get to that point. So yeah, I mean the Pirates Pandemic definitely, I give Matt Leacock and Pandemic, a lot of inspiration for this game. There's no doubt about it. But I think we've reskinned something that's just completely different. Like you see the mechanics, yes, but it's just totally different. So
Oh yeah.
I think he'd be proud. What's crazy is we were just at Gen Con. I don't know if you guys, but he came out with a space dexterity game.
Really?
But
You're like, hold up, buddy. I own the corner market on that.
I was in a game in a Facebook group, and they started one guy was really like asking me like what's going on and all that kind of stuff. And then I showed him the game. Our game is totally different. They have just like objects on the table, like, and you have to flick at them. I don't know. We actually had a whole room at Gen Con with this thing, and we were not. I don't want to say not impressed, but the game is totally different than ours. It's not,
Apples to oranges.
Yeah.
I think Matt Leacock would probably wish he could do it, to be honest. I think this is probably this is the game he should have made,
Yeah.
Like it was sitting there for him, but it didn't happen.
So for your final cut, these pieces, will they be like the ones from TGA? Or will they stay the cardboard?
I think they're gonna just stay the cardboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
It's so many pieces, 90 pieces.
Yeah.
It's probably a little cost prohibitive, and to keep 90 pieces from jostling is gonna be tough too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for this game, it's gonna probably stay cardboard. Now we could do maybe a thicker, like a more heavy duty cardboard too. But I don't see that being a problem, with this game. Like I think they work,
Yeah. I have no issue with the component quality at the moment. Like
No.
except the
The
flags. The flags were fragile.
If I were being honest, the only issue that I had was when I was flicking through, because there's a little bit of a bevel on the top cut, my little guy would get stuck sometimes. But
Yeah, if you had some of them the other direction,
Yeah.
they kind of.
Yeah. There's a couple games with these cardboard hexes that are thicker.
yeah, because like I would do this and it would sometimes get stuck there, but not very often. I was just
Yeah, but there are some that I've seen that are a little bit more flat on the sides because they are thicker. So, but right now this game is probably in the $70 range,
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to those other things, now you're talking.
Yeah, you're talking higher.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of components. I mean, the game has a lot. I'm surprised that the flags broke though, because I mean,
Yeah.
I've never, we haven't heard that yet, but that's.
Well, I mean, I think it's just the way the box was handled. Because hand me the cover.
Ow.
Because the box actually has a big.
Yeah, it's a big dent on the one
A big
side.
dent in one of the corners.
here,
Like
yeah.
it looks like it was dropped.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the flags were right there in that corner when it fell.
All the different colors. I mean, there was a lot of.
Purple only had one broken one.
Yeah.
I think blue had the most.
Blue had the most. Blue definitely had.
And
the
a lot of
most.
them were bent, and I think the purple one that broke, like I literally just like picked it up, and it was the
Yeah.
bent one, and it just kind of.
Yeah. There's like 2 green ones that are broken.
Well, we were having trouble with the trophy, right? It was broken in TGA, and then we
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
started bubble wrapping it. So maybe we just bubble wrap the flags in its own little bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orange came out pretty unscathed.
Orange is
Last time I played with them, I didn't see anything
pretty
wrong.
good. There's one broken one here. So
Casual.
so yeah. But blue, some of them were in 3 pieces.
Yeah.
They were really broken.
Yeah. So we'll make note of that. I haven't heard too much of that from the other playtesters.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that
Yeah.
we're the minority there.
Yeah.
You know.
Purple has a bent one, but most of them are straight.
Yeah, there
fine.
should only be one broken one in there.
Some of them are kind of leaning.
Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, it's not like the game was unplayable. We could still put the bases down and count them and
Yeah.
everything, and
Right.
Yeah.
that's a fun little mechanism because at first I was like, I don't know if I really care about this. And then Dan's like, I'm gonna put a flag here. I'm like, no, that's my planet. Get
Exactly.
out.
I read the rule. I was like, ooh. And then I got on his planet and I was like, I'm gonna be a total ass.
So
Mine.
teamwork, Dan.
Yeah, because I didn't care about the rule initially until Dan started moving in on my planet. I'm like,
Hey man, you should have put
And,
that flag.
and
in
Angie
there.
put like 8 on her planet or something. Like
Nobody
she
was
just
getting mine.
you only needed 3.
Well, that's cool. Like, I love to hear that, because I mean, I think that action, like Dan says, it could be selfish sometimes, but what it does is it takes away an action of something else that you could be doing, right?
Right.
yeah.
So that's where it comes in. Did you guys get to play like the straight co-op version? Because that's new. We're trying that out.
I did like singly, as just two-handed.
Yeah.
But we didn't as a group, not yet.
Yeah, because if you guys want to, hang on to it and try it again with that, because that you earn the flags. You don't, you have to.
You don't just get them.
Yeah.
You do certain things to earn them, and it still has a legacy version at the end, but it's less competitive. It's more about kind of rewarding you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's
So
actually
then
really
if
cool.
you do 2 recon missions, you earn a flag.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't get any flags.
That's true.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm going. I only traveled 2, son of a.
Or I traveled too far and I fell off the board.
Yeah, or I had to go back home because I had to poop.
I think if you kill 3 pirates, you also earn a flag, and if you deliver a
Yep.
crystal, you earn 2 flags. So there's different ways.
Yeah.
I was the only one that did that, wasn't I?
Delivered a crystal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you got one, but you never delivered
Right, I
it.
never got to deliver.
I never got anything to deliver. I couldn't even get a crystal. I killed a lot of pirates though.
That's good. That's good.
That was his job. That was the only job he was good at.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, overall, PJ, what do you guys think? For what it is right now?
Love it.
Absolutely,
Really
amazing.
love this game.
It's fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I love to hear that too, because we say we want to bring the fun back to game night.
yeah.
There's great games and there's strategy that I love, but just making it fun. It's a little bit even silly at times. I think it's something that's missing a little bit overall. So to combine dexterity and strategy, fun and seriousness, that's kind
Yeah.
of what we want.
And this is one of those games that you can't really, nobody can really quarterback on this game,
No. Yeah.
which is great because every now and then we'll do a game night and you get a few of those people that quarterback everything and you go, well, why am I even playing?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you still have to. You're in control of that movement, and
Exactly.
So that's as opposed to just moving as a pawn, based on something else. So yeah, like when it's your turn to flick, it's like shit. Here we go. It's like,
As soon as that timer, which by the way, who came up with the timer? But we'll get to that. But as soon as that timer flips and it starts going, like nervous sweats immediately, and it's and all your like practicing of flicking goes out the window, and you just like boom.
Okay, man, here's the real deal. Don't screw this up. Especially with the Alien Initiative
Oh
expansion.
my gosh.
Whose idea was it to put in the force field for the alien ship?
See, it's all Gavin.
Gavin,
we
you're
changed-
evil.
We changed that at the last minute. I was. That's another one. I was kind of against like having something on the board, and then we just kind of play tested it just with some other little sticks. I think from Catan, we like the little sticks. We just put them on there.
Oh, the little red, yeah.
I was like, you know what? This is pretty cool. This is,
You're an evil genius. It was frustrating, but it was frustrating, but at the same time, it was so much fun. Especially trying to get rid of those pieces to be able to attack the ship. Now, on that second playthrough that we did of that one, I was the only one who had the balls.
to take the
There you
shot.
go. To take the shot, and I missed horribly. And my timer is running down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Like,
hi.
as much time as-
Hi, Toby.
Oh,
I would
going.
like to demonstrate Angie's flight. So we have. Okay.
Now we had 2 of them already taken out.
Yep.
We have an invader.
thank you.
And then Angie just comes in and goes.
It was not intentional. It just happened. I was trying to get a coordinate card.
It was quite the sight to see.
So whose fault is this?
What's that?
Of course it was Gavin.
When in doubt, blame Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin makes. Yeah, he definitely. I try to be nice. This guy.
So these are brilliant. This when we started playing the first time, this was the one thing that we kept going on about how much fun this was, because it's just an everyday 1 minute sand timer you find in even classic games, and it's actually being put to another use besides, you have so much time to do this. It's like, okay, great, this is time, but this is your fuel. This is literally how you're getting around.
And just the simple action of laying it outside. I'm like,
pause to pause everything.
Yeah, like, oh, I landed somewhere, laying outside. What's going on here? And then resume and stand it back up again.
Or when you just start flying and you need to remember to actually flip it over.
Yeah, to start expending your fuel. Also, that.
You're out of time. You can't talk anymore.
Oh, I'm going to talk some more. I'm using my reserve.
Play the
tank.
music, walk him off stage.
Oh, okay. Also, using the markers to denote which side of the timer you're on. That was a fantastic idea. That saved our butts so many times.
Yeah.
That simple thing took us 3 or 4 different ideas to get it to that. I mean, and finally, I think at the last Gen Con, just recently, we figured out, okay, we'll put a sticker on each side and we'll have to I mean, it's something so simple, but now it works.
It's
Like,
really
now-
cute.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah,
great.
it's awesome.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I love that. That was an idea. Like when an idea comes together and it kind of really works thematically, like the timer is actually fuel, right? That you're burning. I was like, oh man, this is so cool. Like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, this is it. Yeah, I mean, and the reserve tank is something we've messed with, like, okay, just really to give people a chance because it is hard if you're just using that main tank and it runs out.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, but as an action, I think it's cool because you have to actually burn an action to use the reserve tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does make everything a lot more.
Intense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I like that. I hear, you guys like different things of the game, so that's cool too, different parts of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the one thing that I wouldn't say didn't work, but I was a little hard for me was go ahead and pull out the card there, the player card.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pull out one that's not green.
Good idea. Good idea. And go ahead and pull out some of the markers too, if you could. So, I love the way that this is set up. The player card is nice and compact. It has everything that you need, which is a plus in my book. The minus is particularly with your actions. You've got your actions labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you go and cover an action, the marker's just a little too big. Sometimes it's a little hard to be, wait, was that number 1? Is that number 2? That was just the only thing that kind of where I was like, ooh, if they could be just a little smaller or those numbers could be just a little bigger to match up, like that would have made that mat.
And then actually,
flawless.
we've been hearing that actually from most play testers. So we definitely want to now go to a smaller, probably square wooden, token.
Okay.
That's something we actually talked about
Yes, we
last
did.
week, like using those wooden Euro cubes as
Yep.
trackers. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe just keep around for the helmets for the players. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really about saving money or anything. It was just like just to see, what could work on the board. And most people have found that those tokens are just too big, even for the shields and the weapons. They just don't fit nice.
See, those didn't bother me at all. The shields and the weapons didn't bother me. It was just the tracker for keeping track of your turn.
Yeah, it didn't bother us, but we know board gamers and they are very OCD and everything needs to fit nicely. And,
That's true.
those squares would be perfect sizes for those wooden cubes.
We also wouldn't be opposed to the dual layer player mats.
See, Jamie has spoiled her with the dual layered mats.
I mean, that would be maybe an upgrade. I mean, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Plus
That's expensive.
That would,
that
that
is
would bring
expensive.
cost up for sure.
layered die cuts. The other part is we're just a small
Right.
So we ordered 500, and that costs a lot more than ordering 5,000. And once you order,
Right.
Oh yeah.
you bring the cost way down. So those big companies that have those, dual layers and all these other, they're buying in bigger bulk, and so they
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely something we aspire to do. I definitely don't want to put out a game. That's a simple change that we can do and make it better. So
Yeah.
we'll do those smaller wooden square tokens for sure.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with the squares too. I just
Yeah.
You'd be happy with Hollywood Squares, wouldn't you?
I just want to say overall, I like that it has all of the feel of TGA, but it's a completely different game. Like there's like the nuances of TGA with the flicking, but there's so much extra that goes into this game, from the timers to the extra board where Angie kind of hung out forever. It's a really cool, like in my mind, upgrade from TGA.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the idea, for someone who doesn't like the sports themes or just, doesn't gravitate towards that. Although we've had a lot of people that don't know golf play the TGA, and so that was a pleasant surprise. But I wanted to make something, that was more along the strategy, board game line and that world that we normally live in. But still be, new and fresh, and so thank you for that.
Well, yeah. Overall, though, this is such a fun, such a fun game. What I really like with your hazards is just like you did with TGA. Okay, you want to get out of here. This is what you have to do to get out.
Use the knuckle of your non-dominant hand, right? Middle finger.
So having those,
of course, it was Gavin.
But having those was. I mean, it gave you. It wasn't one of those like, oh, I'm in here, I better get out of here. Boop. It was like, oh, I'm in here. Ah, crap.
I gotta use my pinky to get out of here now.
Yeah, now I gotta use my non-dominant thumb and figure out how to use my knuckle to get out of there. And I gotta make sure I'm so many tiles away or I'm right back into it.
It's like Dungeon Fighter in a way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And those are always great.
What you touched on there is the TGA. One reviewer or one guy told me, he goes, you know what, this game is cool because it's a modular, dexterity game. Like and then he said you may have touched on a nerve there as far as a whole other. It's not a genre, but it's a whole other way to make dexterity games, and that's kind of like the concept that Space Borne had. So and then that you have different mechanics just based on where you land. So we did carry those things over. And I think they work again. Because, right, if you're stuck in an asteroid belt, you're not flying as casually as if you're in.
What?
That's the idea, anyway.
Sorry, that was a Star Wars line there. Just fly casual.
We want to trademark the name, May the Flick Be With You. Do you think we have any chance at trademarking that? Or no?
Okay, so if it were up to George, you'd have a pretty good chance. Now that it's Disney, the mouse is probably going to go after you. So I'd be very cautious.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I mean, I'm in marketing, and I know, but we've talked about it. Like, man, that would be the perfect slogan for this game.
That would be
yeah.
the perfect slogan.
Yeah.
That's the Space Borne t-shirts now.
Yeah, right.
Well, for this, you could do in space, no one can hear you flick.
That's a good one.
Flick carefully.
Yeah, I like that.
I could probably come up with a few more if I actually thought about them.
If you flick in space and no one hears you, did you actually flick?
There you go.
It's very long, but I like it.
That was just a simulation.
It's a lot of flicking words right there.
That is a lot of flicking words. Flick it, let's go.
It's not the workout. I'm not creative in the afternoons, only in the mornings.
All right, well, I have one last question for both of you. What are you playing right now? What's like your favorite game that's on the table?
We've been playing Cities by DeVere.
That game,
Okay.
I've heard amazing things about that game.
Yeah, simple little kind of worker placement, but it has different. It changes every time because there's different scoring mechanisms, and I kick their ass every time, so I love it. First time that I win a game like 3 times in a row.
Gavin, what about you? What's like your favorite game to hit the table at the moment?
I'm in a lot of card games right now. I don't know if you guys have heard of it's kind of blowing up right now. It's more of an internet card game, but you can play, real cards with it. It's called Liar's Deck. Have you guys heard of it?
No.
Well, it's basically it's kind of like a bluffing kind of game. So you're only using kings, aces, and queens, and basically you draw a card to see how the rest of the round is going to go.
Okay. Yeah, no, I do know this game.
And then everyone who goes puts cards face down, and they say, "Oh, I put two kings, or I put one king." And the next person, if they're bluffing or not, or they can just play their own thing. It's very basic, but
yeah.
Nice. So Lies Deck sounds cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very similar to Skull
It's
or
very similar to
Liar's
Skull.
Dice.
Yeah, and that's actually I mean,
Yes,
I used to play that. I used to play that in college all the time when we were in theater.
Yeah. One game we play a lot is Teach You. I don't know if you play Teach You card game.
No.
No.
Tichu, Teach You. It's in a Chinese. Supposedly, it's the most common Chinese card game. So it's you play in teams. So it's always 2-on-2, and it's a trick-taking game, but it's amazing. It's been around a long time. If you want to try that, I mean, that's a great game. We play it all the time.
Cool.
There's also a very similar game in Spain that is played almost the exact same.
Mainly on the plane?
Mainly on the plane, that's right. No, my ex-wife's family used to gamble all of their Christmas money, so I would always stay out of it.
All right. Yeah.
All right,
so
guys.
we're between making the games. We do still play as much as we can.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how you come up with ideas. Every idea comes from something else. Usually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I could talk for another hour probably, but we have another place we have to be.
My mom's church, our kids have a Halloween party.
Yeah, Halloween party for the kids. So,
What'd you guys think of the logo that we did? Did you guys?
I freaking love it. I
love it.
absolutely love it.
I'm offended because I made their logo. Okay.
Well, I remember, being in school and having these puzzles, right?
The word puzzles, yeah.
Yeah.
Like games overboard, so like I was like, I see your name. I always thought about this, and I said, I'm just gonna make one and show these guys.
Our original logo was actually a G over B, and yeah,
cool.
same kind of thing. So
Yeah.
same wavelength going on right there.
Well,
It's
keep it up,
fine.
man.
It's fine, John.
I don't know. I'd probably go after what the marketing guy just sent us.
I just paid a lot of money for business cards.
did.
All right, it's okay.
Well, I feel like
print it out
I
on
feel
the
like now
backside.
we have separate logos for like home team, away team kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like
there you go.
certain special occasions, we have like a different logo
No,
we
it's
can pull
fine.
out.
John Garcia made you a logo. It's fine. I get it.
He was just listening a little too well.
Look what I started.
That's what you get for listening.
This is worse than Gavin and his crazy ideas.
I love your guys' logo. I would never change it.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to notice that this all started over a year ago because of some balls.
Yeah.
Gotta have balls.
John, I'm so happy that you were able to come back on the show. We loved having you last year, and it's just so great to have you back. I was telling Dan and Angie, like, it felt almost like coming back home, because
Yeah.
you were the first person we ever interviewed, and it was just such a special occasion for us, and it's no different this time either. And Gavin, with you, he talked about you a lot in the last interview.
Yes, he did.
And so just to meet you and, to hear your input and everything has been
Put a
just
face to
awesome.
the evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say, I'm not sure if you know this, but after our first interview with you and our first episode with one of your games, that really changed the way we do this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, so much.
So we just want to thank you and for your time right now, and just for being awesome, being you.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you guys. I really enjoy, all four of you. Hopefully, someday we get to meet.
I would love that.
That'd be great.
We're gonna do something cool when we go to events. We're gonna do. Him and I are doing our own pro player cards for the game, and you'll only be able to get those cards if you come to an event. So
Nice.
you know, I don't know. I mean,
If you come up north again for like,
Let's go.
yeah,
You go
like
to-
PAX Unplugged or something.
yeah, we haven't been to PAX, and everyone talks about PAX how great it
Yeah.
is.
Or if you come up to Origins or Gen Con again,
Yeah.
we'll try to make our way out there for you.
Okay, yeah,
That'd be
we'll love
cool.
you guys in person. But until then, thank you so much for really. I know playtesting, it's fun, but there's a lot that goes into it. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're happy to help you out there and do what we can. So
Cool.
thank you again for being on here, and we wish you the best of luck when it hits. Do you know when it's going to come out on GameStart or Kickstarter? I mixed GameFound and Kickstarter there.
And it might actually be backer kit. I mean, we've been
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know. Right now, I think we make a couple of tweaks and probably have to do another prototype. So probably not till maybe end of May. Yeah, not that much.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Cool.
Well, this is just one more game for us to keep pushing out there and
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, we did it with Seismic. We talked that game up like
We did.
crazy. And,
Oh yeah.
We still do.
we do. we still do.
I like the big towers.
Of course you do. That's what she said.
All right. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
All right, enjoy the party.
Bye, Evil Gavin.
Hey, enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
May the flick be with you.
Thank you.